Hi, I'm David Penn, Research Analyst with Finovate. We're here at Finovate Europe 2023 in London, England. Joining me now is Mr. Stephen Van Belleghem. He's going to be delivering our 2023 keynote here at Finovate Europe. He is the author of a book called The Internet of Customer Value, How Web3 and the Metaverse are Changing the Game in Customer Service. Stephen, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure, David.
Yes.
Thank you.
We had a fantastic conversation last night at our Leaders Plus sort of pre-event session, and I thought maybe this would be a great opportunity to sort of fill people in on a little bit of what happened last night and what's going to be happening this morning with your keynote address.
Okay, great.
So I thought maybe to start off, you could give us sort of a top-line look at some of the main points that you're going to be addressing in your keynote.
Sure. The keynote is about the possibilities, the opportunities of Web3 and the Metaverse in customer experience. It's my feeling that a lot of the people who stepped into crypto, for instance, did it to make a lot of money. I think that was mainly the motivation. And today we're like at a turning point. We're at a transformational point where people see that, hey, it's not just about making the quick money, but if we think it through, these technologies actually can create new opportunities to help customers in a different and better way.
Absolutely. It's an interesting thing we talked about last night, the idea that so many people had been in favor of the technology itself, while there were some skeptics of some of the outcomes of the technology, and now almost provides an opportunity for that technology to really shine.
Yeah, absolutely. I see three clear customer benefits with Metaverse and Web3 technologies. First one is that data ownership can come back to the customer, which changes the entire customer relationship and the way that you do personalization, for instance. The second one is that you have the opportunity to create shared benefits for your customers, where they have personal financial gain if a certain organization is performing well. And the third one is that we're going to move from effortless interfaces to enhanced interfaces thanks to the Metaverse.
So let's take a look at each one of those in turn. The first one is the idea of the shared ownership. Could you talk about that a little bit more?
Shared ownership is about creating new forms of customer loyalty. Today, customer loyalty works like this. You buy 10 breads, and the 11th is for free. So basically, I expect you as a customer to create value first, and then I will give you something back. I believe that is old school. If you, for instance, as an organization, create an NFT, and you add a smart contract to it, you can create benefits for customers right away. And it's like a turnaround. The NFT used to be a piece of art with a small smart contract. Now it's going to be a smart contract with a piece of art. And if that company performs well, then the value of that NFT will also increase. So then you can decide, okay, am I going to keep it to keep the benefits of the smart contract, or will I sell it on the market and make some money with it? So you instantly get value back as a customer the minute that you step into that deal with that organization.
Yeah, very interesting, a real innovation in the whole concept of what it means to be a loyal customer, so to speak, really taking it at another level. So let's talk about the concept of data ownership that you mentioned. How is that important?
Well, you know, in today's world, there's a lot of data of you and me out there with big organizations, and it's kind of unclear what they do with it, right? We don't know who owns what, we don't know how they're making money with it. It's a black box, and people don't really like that. I think in a world of Web3 and the blockchain, data ownership will come back to the customer. You will have like your own digital vault, the digital wallet, where you keep all your digital assets, also your personal data. And then you have the opportunity to decide, okay, company A gets access to that, company B does not get access to that. So you can say, oh, my supermarket, they spam me all the time, chuck, no more access to my data. But my bank, they bring real value, I give them access to my data. So you decide. And sometimes companies ask me, how do we need to deal with this? Where do we need to invest in? And the crazy thing is, even though this is a Web3 consequence or a Web3 benefit, it means that today you need to rethink your customer loyalty, because companies that earn and re-earn the trust of their customers, those will be the companies that in the future will have access to the data of the customer. So the action that we need to do today is not invest in the technology. The action that we need to do today is invest in customer trust and customer loyalty.
Makes a lot of sense, makes a lot of sense. And the last point that you were going to say?
Last one is about the evolution of interfaces. In the past 10 years, we talked about effortless interfaces, convenience as a driver of loyalty. And of course, convenience is still crucial today, but it evolved to a minimum demand, like a hygiene factor. If you have it, people think it's normal. If you don't, they go somewhere else. Today, thanks to Metaverse, we see that you can create enhanced experiences. Like when you buy shoes, you can virtually try them on first. If you buy glasses, you virtually try them on first. Disney is thinking about reinventing their queues to make the wait time more engaging thanks to Metaverse. So we can now make it more entertaining, which is a complete new philosophy that will create opportunities to surprise customers in the next couple of years.
I think people are generally sensitive to some of the different possibilities of the metaverse in a variety of different aspects. You talked about it, from retail, from fashion, music, and so forth. Looking specifically at financial services, what are the sort of opportunities that are available there?
Well, maybe the biggest opportunity is to bring back humanity into banking. I think this is I think banks shouldn't look at the technology. They should look at the customer needs. And if you look at what happened in the financial world in the last couple of years, I mean, branches were closed down. It became less easy for customers to actually talk to a human banker, unless you have a lot of money. Then they take care of that. But for the average customer, banking was dehumanized a little bit. Maybe now they can bring the human back, for instance, with Metaverse technology. Maybe you can you can find out ways that in an efficient way for the bank, you can create a new experience for that customer where they still talk to a human, maybe in a virtual environment. So then you have the efficiency for the bank, but you have the human contact for the client. And if we could combine that, I think that could be a real opportunity.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. One of the things we talked about last night that I thought was very interesting was that idea that while convenience was sort of a customer service innovation early on, it soon became table stakes. So what happens once everybody has achieved the convenience aspect? What do you do to take it to the next level to be the one where the customers want to come to? And that seems to be some of the things you're talking about.
That's one of the things. It's about asking yourself, how can we become a partner in life of every customer, not just people with a lot of money, but how can we use technology to bring humanity back, and by doing so, we become a partner in the life of our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one other thing I found very interesting what we were talking about was the idea that thinking of the metaverse, the blockchain, these technologies, not as we know them now necessarily, but for their potential to evolve over time, and that what we see right now is most likely not the metaverse, and that's like not the Web3 that we're going to actually inhabit.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion with definitions and what people are talking about. Sometimes people talk about the metaverse and they imagine the really cool videos that Mark Zuckerberg launches every few months. And some people say, yeah, but Fortnite is also a metaverse because it's a virtual world and things are happening there. And both are right. It's just a matter of framing it. And I always use like the idea of, are we talking about today's possibilities? Are we talking about tomorrow's? Or are we talking about the day after tomorrow? And then the videos of Mark Zuckerberg are day after tomorrow stuff. Roblox and Fortnite is today's stuff. So you can already do a lot today, but sometimes the confusion in meetings and in discussions blocks certain opportunities. So just saying, is it today's stuff, day after tomorrow stuff, that makes it more clear to everyone.
Absolutely. If there was one sort of top line thing that you would like our audience to be sort of taking home with them from your keynote, what would that be?
Very simple. It's not about the technology. It's about figuring out how to create new customer benefits, and the technology is a facilitator for that.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, very much thank you for talking with us today. Looking very much forward to your keynote coming up in actually a few minutes.
All right.
It's going to be really enjoyable.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, and thank you very much for joining us as well.